my little exercise that I started with was I was like, okay, for the next hour, I will follow my intuition exactly. Like I will do everything. And I would like set a timer and be like, hey, 1 hour. And it would be like, I would go longer than an hour because it was always so fun. Like it was always like, oh
Exactly.
my God, this day just became so amazing. Um, so yeah, I mean the little voice inside. I think that's your little friend. The voice that's like an asshole to you, that's not your friend. That's that's
Not
that's an
really.
asshole. Yeah.
I have a fun little story about the other side of the coin a little bit here as well, which I discuss in my newsletter, guys. Check that out and subscribe.
Yes.
Little promo here.
What story is it? Because I get your newsletter.
It's the freedom list. Basically, guys, this is a other side of coin. Like Mercedes said, like it's so fun, and it is. It's freaking amazing. It's like you start to see and things start happening, and it's like, oh my God, it's like the world and life wants the best for me, and good things happening, and awesome. Now, I'm switch it up a little bit now, because this is a weird one. This is, I would call, a little bit more advanced, because at times the intuition, the inner voice is going to say things that are like, maybe things that you don't want to do, and they feel edgy, and it's like, it's almost like, and I just want to clarify, the voice itself isn't anything like bad or just like forceful, or it's like it's not like that. For me, it's like the same voice. It's like, da, 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 do this.
I feel like I'm cringing because I'm like, I know what you're talking about exactly. Where it's like, do I have to? Do I really have
Exactly.
to? Do I? Do I?
Exactly. And sometimes you have to ask it, like, do I really? Because I don't really want to do
Really?
it.
I really don't want to.
And this
I
this
really
sto-
don't want to.
this story is about one of those moments in my life that happened recently, and it was a lot to do with relationship, and I was in a conversation, and the intuition was giving me almost like very, very direct advice on what to say.
Mhm.
This, and I gave it, and the reaction from the other person was like like all full-blown emotional, everything. And I was sitting there, I was like, fuck. Like, fuck. I could have gone smoothly. I didn't have to say anything, exactly, like. And throughout all of that interaction, or let's say even a altercation, not an altercation, but an argument, um, I was still in the place, because the information conveyed to me by the other person was, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. It was very forceful, and I was like, I was, doing my best to be with my guides and be in the present moment, which was really freaking hard, super hard. And I was like, okay, so do they have a point? Am I wrong about this? Did I say something wrong? And every time I was like, no, this was like super correct, direct. And I had to say another thing, which, later on in the conversation came to me. Once I said that directly, clearly to that other person, everything changed. The energy changed. The person, say, basically, it directly said, you were right. And this is one of the places where I was like, I posted this online on one of my social media. I think it was Facebook, and I was challenged on it by another person. I was like, no, this is not how you do conversation, and blah 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 blah. They started, basically saying that I was wrong. And even then I
They
was like,
they they didn't even mostly agree with you.
they didn't know. not at all. Total disagreement. Hundo P disagreement.
Hundo P disagree.
But like the moral of the story was like, even in that, I was feeling a little bit edgy, obviously, in a public forum, being disagreed, or somebody challenging me up from the outside, like coming in. No. I was challenged. I was feeling raw. I was feeling a little bit weird about it. And it was like, but I remember that guidance, that intuition, that was like literally, even in that madness, that emotional outburst was like, no, this is correct. This is right. What you said, what you felt, what the intuition, this was totally 100p correct. And like literally the other person finally admitted it. And this is one of the things that I wanted to say. It's like, it's not always going to be like only magical, but it's kind of like magical at the same time as well. It's like a little bit of uncomfortableness there in the argument.
Well, what I'm kind of gathering from that, and what I feel is that this is where having a light heart is helpful. And I feel like one of the things that I've read in the past about like masters and things is like they say travel light. And I take that to mean travel light in the heart and energy, like to really look inside, like how you did in that even in the midst of being confronted in a hard way, you're still going, am I wrong? You know, and that's, I think, a big thing, because that shows, to me, that shows mastery. That shows mastery over emotion, mastery over even physical, because you're not having a physical reaction to it. It's like, okay, it's more of that objective question, am I wrong? And if the answer is no, the answer is no. And when your heart is light, you get to laugh at these things. And you're not laughing at that person. You're not trying to condemn them for being who they are, but you can see that in their heart, they're not that same lightness, and there's compassion for that. But there's also, you know, inside yourself, there's that lightness and that ability to laugh at an extremely difficult situation, no matter how difficult it is.
Totes. I'm literally, I just want to maybe clarify a little bit, because I definitely can't do this in every situation. Afterwards I was amazed that I was able to do it, because usually I'm just like, what? Because this was so much coming my way, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell is happening here?
That's very disappointing, because I assumed that you were perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And that you can.
One thing I wanted to say about this that helped me in the midst of it was, once I, like you said, the question, I was asking the question, like, am I in the wrong here? And I even thought about, you know, admitting that I was wrong, because if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong, and I'm done, and I'll apologize, and we will move on, hopefully, if the person is willing and available for that. But every time, you know, the emotion was still coming, and every time I was like, okay, just admit it. Like the thoughts going through my head were like, okay, just admit that you're wrong, and this will be done. But every time I started to open my mouth, there was something stopping me. It's like, no, you know, you're not in the wrong here. And I stayed firm and just finally said it in a very calm voice, you know, the sentence that's changed everything. And, you know, everything, it was, you know, was fine after that. And I got a tick box in my, you know, memory bank that, you know, you can trust this voice, you know.
Right. And I think that's the main thing of like following your intuition, is like the voices that tell you the truth and that lead you in the way that is a good way. Those are the voices to trust. And it's like stepping stones, right? And again, it's not like you do this all at once. That's like, that would be nice, but that's just not really, in my experience, how it works. You have to take it to the streets. You have to listen to a podcast where you hear this stuff, and then you have to go out in your life and go, I get a little curious. I'm like, okay, that crazy lady, that little Pisces Astro